Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to give you guys my full leg day routine, including glute activation. As usual, don't forget to stretch. Glute activation and stretching are different in my opinion. Obviously, definitely stretch. It's going to be helpful. That way you don't hurt yourself. But with glute activation, it helps to get those buns really going for this workout, right? So we're going to go through a couple moves. As you can see, I'm doing the first move, and make sure you're doing each move for at least 15 seconds. I just wanted to make this point as well. Glute activation is not required for a leg day. It is highly encouraged because a lot of times what would happen is after you do the glute activation and you're feeling it back there, it gets those muscles working a little harder compared to if you just started the leg day without glute activation. So, you don't have to do it every single leg day. Personally, I do. I enjoy them. But, choose as you go along, see how you're feeling, and then just make a decision from there. I do have a couple favorite moves that I like to include in my glute activation as well as my glute finisher, which could be like straight leg kickbacks, it could be fire hydrants, it could be rainbows. You can literally use any of those. And what makes it better is that they are mostly body weight. You don't use, any added weight when you do glute activation. You try to keep it as light as you can. You can use thigh bands, as you see. I'm using the thigh bands, but you can use jump squats. You can use anything really. Anything to get those glutes up and fired. So usually on my leg days, I like to start off with squats, whether I'm using the Smith machine or a barbell, usually between 50 to 60 pounds. But since I will be using the Smith machine today, I will be using a method that I just kind of came up on my own about a year ago when I really started getting into weightlifting. Where I just start off with high reps at the lightest weight I can tolerate on the Smith machine, which would be like a 25-pound plate on each side. I would do 2 sets of 10, and then I would go down to 1 set of 8, and I will probably increase the weight at that point, or I'll probably keep it as the same. But once I get down to 1 set of 6, that's when I start to, really put some more weight on the Smith machine, because the goal is to try and be able to tolerate more weight when it comes to squatting overall, which equals stronger legs. And the last 2 sets will be 2 sets of 4. I will either keep the weight the same on the Smith machine, or I'll add maybe a 5-pound plate on each side. Or if I'm feeling spicy, a 10-pound plate on each side. I used to be able to squat heavier in the past, but over time I just kind of fell off. So at this point, I'm just trying to, build myself back to where I used to be. Now, of course, you don't have to do it the same way I am. If you just want to keep it as a simple dimple leg day, you can just, once again, get a barbell or get the Smith machine, find your ideal weight where you're comfortable in, and just do like maybe 3 sets of 10. And that's just as good. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you're not, definitely do so. My Instagram is in the description box. You will know that I love Bulgarian split squats. In the beginning of my fitness journey, I was so dedicated to knowing how to do these without falling over and busting my ass. But I have been able to get myself together finally with these. I have a love-hate relationship with Bulgarian split squats, but listen, they will do the job that you need done. I trust me, they'll get you to where you need to go. So here I'm doing 3 sets of 10, and I'm using two 15-pound barbells. Sometimes my balance can still be a little off if I'm using two barbells. I'm sorry, not barbells, dumbbells. But if you're comfortable, grab two 15-pound dumbbells or wherever you're, comfortable weight wise, and get to work for 3 sets of 10. Now, with this next move, I just started really including this in my routines, but it is a sumo deadlift to sumo squat. When you use a weight that's, slightly heavier than what you're used to, like I think in this case, I used either a 40 or a 50-pound dumbbell, I can't remember. They are really good when it comes to the glute area. Like they get everything fired up. Over time, they do start to hurt. And that's what you want. You want to feel it down in that area. So definitely pace yourself when you do these, but I did about 3 sets of 10. Next up, we have hip thrusts, which is once again another staple for me when it comes to leg day. I like doing these with either barbells or with dumbbells. I prefer barbells because they feel more comfortable. Definitely find what is best for you. But in this case, I am using a dumbbell and I'm doing 3 sets of 10, and also like to do a 10-second hold at the end just to add that final burn. You can either add the 10-second hold to the end of the 3 sets, or you can add the 10-second hold to the end of each set if you want that challenge. I prefer adding it to the end of each set because I am almost done leg day. So I just kind of wanted to put out a little bit more before I was completely finished. So the last move that we have before we hit up the bike is going to be thigh abductor lifts. I love these. You can use the machine if you prefer the machine, but I like to use the 25-pound weighted plate and just lay right on my side. And I like to do the 3 sets of 10 reps. And by the middle of the second set, you definitely start to feel it. If you would prefer to go up in weight, I have done this with a 45-pound plate before. It's totally a challenge, but once again, find where you are most comfortable and just work from there. We're finally in the home stretch, and I'm going to finish out with a 10-minute bike ride. I like to go hard for 30 seconds and then slow it down for another 30 seconds and just do that through the whole 10-minute workout. I find that it's more effective on my cardio days, and just as a finisher, it's definitely a challenge. So I totally encourage you guys to do this. Probably do a separate video on how I utilize the cardio machines at the gym, because sometimes they can be boring and a lot of times, they may not be utilized, but it's not just the machine itself, it's the way you do it. So definitely stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful. Bye.